When we published the first article, one of the reactions from some quarters was, well, what did you expect? Vince's public persona, the Mr. McMahon character, was intentionally outrageous. And tied up in all of that was this notion that he was just rapacious and sexually deviant and couldn't control himself. And that was a huge part of the public character. What complicates that is that this was this intentional blurring of fictional and non-fictional.
You're hired, Stacy!
What we have shown is that some of what was played for laughs as part of the character was not that funny and was, in fact, very, very serious.
So with the release of the Netflix Mr. McMahon documentary series dropping recently, a lot of people are talking, man. Everyone comment and let me know what you've found most disgusting or disturbing or entertaining or just your thoughts in general about this series. I caught a couple episodes, but I was kind of sidetracked doing something at the time, so I wasn't able to fully take it all in. But you see the trailer there and the creators of the documentary talking about how that little message, I don't know if you saw that, once the allegations became public, McMahon canceled the final interviews for the documentary. Now, I don't know if that's when the original scandal came forward, where it was just known as him paying off a girl money, you know, from a publicly traded company to basically have an affair with him. We all know the way that it went, right? He hired her, was messing with her. When he was done with her, he fired her and he paid her some hush money, and he had to step down. He ended up pulling a power play, getting back in control of his company. But then now there's the allegations of ex trafficking and the feds investigating Mr. McMahon and everything. And I'm shocked things have remained pretty quiet in the news. Like, comment if you feel the same way. Like, when the feds came down on Diddy, I knew they were coming to get Diddy, that he was catching an indictment. With Mr. McMahon, I thought so possibly as well. As we know, you know, there's the civil case that's going on that it seems like they're just stalling that out, delaying that case, which I think I seen there was some kind of motion or something like that, that they wanted to do that until the federal investigation was over. I could be wrong, but if that's the case, strategically, that's a good idea, because if the feds don't come with anything, you know, that lessens the allegations from the lawsuit and McMahon having to pay up or being found liable. But I'm not 100% on that. But I don't know. Things have been quiet on the news front. You know, the feds, obviously, everyone knows McMahon took him to trial and beat him back in the day, the steroid scandals and everything. And here we are now with the release of this documentary, and you see how they basically were covering, in a sense, to me, it seems the story that they were trying to tell is the Mr. McMahon character, which pro wrestling fans like myself from way back, you know, McMahon was nothing like what he became as the Mr. Evil Maniac McMahon character later on. He was a broadcaster for a while. We didn't even really know he had anything to do with the company as far as owning it or anything. And then as time played on, basically when the Stone Cold, the Austin 316 mania took off, that's when it felt like things really blew up, and we saw the evolution of the Mr. McMahon character that they're saying basically to me is those lines that were intentionally blurred between reality and storyline aren't so far from reality. That's what it seems to me. But something that I was surprised to see with all the people I saw sitting down doing interviews, not getting a call, was good old JR. As you see, he confirmed twice this has been hitting the news, like a month or so ago, and then now since the release of the documentary, saying no one ever reached out to me. Foremost, I want to say prayers out to good old JR, man. We know JR is battling it out with cancer, man. F cancer. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. It took a lot of our loved ones away from us, and it's just a terrible thing. But he remains working, seems to be doing good, and I don't know, I used to listen to his podcast where he would give updates and stuff, but I've been out of the loop. So prayers out to JR. If you got any updates you're aware of, leave it in the comments, as well as your thoughts about everything else we're speaking on. But can you believe it? Like, they just never reached out to good old JR, you know, as far as anyone, you know, like that was close to Vince McMahon over the years. You'd think that they would think of Jim Ross off the rip. And not to mention, the dude's been in the wrestling business for a million years, man, you know? And he made it clear that they didn't reach out to him. He says, when I heard about it being made, I suspected my agent, Barry Bloom, would have something in that space. They never approached us. Bill Simmons' crew never approached us. I'm not sure I would have done it anyway. It depends on what they were looking for. I've got everything that they would be looking for. Sensationalism, all these things. Working for Vince was an adventure. Following him around was a sprint. I would have had to think about it, but nonetheless, I never got a call on it to see it if I was interested. So you hear from Jim Ross. They didn't reach out, but if they did, he doesn't even quite sure that he would do it. You know, like, we know the wrestling business is a very protected business from within, you know, like wrestlers, which one of the episodes that I did see, they covered, what was that guy's name that smacked the block out of that, was that doctor? I can't remember his name. He slapped the dog-ish out of that reporter that was trying to expose the wrestling business. You know, he came in, wanted to act like he was doing one type of journalism when really he was trying to do an expose. Personally, like, he got what he got. I don't want to say, like, I don't feel bad at it for him at all, but I just feel like he should have known better. You know, people sometimes got nerve thinking they can just go around and do whatever they're gonna do and not catch any consequences. I mean, this is the wrestling business. This is the way these guys are feeding their families, trying to prosper, make money, and you're trying to come in and shit on it. What's wrong with you? What are you thinking, you know? But I did catch that piece on the Netflix docuseries, and I've seen that covered before, and I feel like it was kind of messed up that McMahon didn't have that guy, I forget his name, it's slipping my mind at the moment, didn't have his back better. He put in the work, and for his troubles, he got kind of hung out to dry, you know. But I say all that to say that Jim Ross, like he said, he's got everything they want, a great interview, sensationalism, but he's not going to be the guy that, if he knew, you know, where the bodies were buried, to show you where they're buried. I don't think, personally. I think people within the wrestling business look out for each other. And Jim Ross, I don't know his current, you know, standings with Vince McMahon or WWE, or if he knew about any of this ish, or if this ish is true and these allegations. And that's what I want to make clear is, you know, the hush money stuff is immoral, right? I mean, we've heard about the McMahon marriage or whatever, that it's almost like a political marriage, which fits perfect because she was making a run at politics from my understanding. But I'm saying that basically saying it's more for appearances, and Vince runs around doing what he does, and having an affair and paying a woman off hush money is messed up and immoral, but it's not sick and twisted like the horrific stuff that we're hearing in this lawsuit and these allegations and what the feds are investigating. And if anyone knew anything about that, they're wrong, they're foul. If it's true, they're all disgusting scumbags. But I don't know. Jump in the comments and let me know what you think. If you believe the allegations or not. If you've watched the documentary, your thoughts on it so far. What episodes were better or not so good, or your reaction period. And if you're also shocked that they didn't reach out to good old JR. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Look forward to hearing from everyone in the comments section below. And stay tuned for more pro wrestling content.